Draymond Green is playing at that intensity level, especially that stretch in the second quarter where I think he had 4 or 5 assists. How impactful is that on the offense, both on the court, the production, and then just the energy that players feed off?
Yeah. Well, he's the best defensive player in the world. I mean, he's been doing this for a long time. He impacts the game so dramatically. And then on offense, he gets us organized. You know, he's kind of our point forward in a lot of ways, and he's the leader of our team. So, you know, the first few games, obviously, we desperately missed him. And it just feels to me like, you know, now that both Draymond and James Wiseman have had a couple weeks work here, this feels like the beginning of the regular season to me. You know, we weren't ready the first couple weeks, and it showed, but we knew that coming in based on just our situation in camp. So really happy with the way the guys handled this last week. We've gotten better. We're starting to feel what kind of team we can become. And they had a good night tonight. So it's they get tomorrow off. They've earned it.
Steve, CJ Peterson, San Francisco Examiner. Tonight you guys had 41 assists, season high so far. What did you think of the ball movement out there and just how you guys were able to kind of facilitate tonight?
Yeah, it was really good. You know, just driving, kicking, and you know, it just seemed like everybody was in sync and understood that you just move the ball on. You put it on the floor, get it in the paint, and move it on to the next guy, and the game becomes much easier. So that was nice to see.
Steve, the wrap that we see on Steph's back and the wrap around his right quad, are those just maintenance things? I mean, I have to ask, but
yeah, he's fine. Okay. It's just maintenance stuff.
Okay.
How good was it to see Oubre hit 4 threes?
Yeah, you know, it was just a matter of time. I mean, he's a good 3-point shooter. I think he was 35% last year in Phoenix, and they shot it well in the preseason, and just one of those things. I think I said this to you guys last week. This kind of start, Klay Thompson has had a similar start at least 2 times, maybe even 3 times since I've been here. Sometimes at the beginning of the season, you just don't have your legs under you. You have a couple bad games, it can snowball, and then all of a sudden you make one and you realize there's 67 games left or whatever it is, and you just relax. And I think that's where Kelly is now.
Steve, Carter Letourneau, San Francisco Chronicle. Is it fair to say that it's not really a coincidence that Steph starts to go off when Draymond gets his win back and is being the Draymond of old? What is so special about the dynamic between those two?
Well, they know each other so well, so their pick and roll game is beautiful to watch, and you know, hit and handbacks, and Draymond understands how to get Steph open. And then I think our defense gets a lot better when Draymond is on the floor, so Steph gets more transition opportunities as well.
Hey, Coach, Kylan with Cron 4. Steph almost with a triple-double tonight. What do you think of his effort, especially coming off of a 62-point game to then go out with that kind of energy?
Yeah, Steph looked great. I mean, the first quarter was the key to the game, 37-20, and our defense was really key. And, again, if we can get stops and get into transition, Steph is lethal in those cases. So he got free a little bit in that first quarter and set a really good tone, as did our whole team with the defense. And that's going to be the key, going forward. We these last 2 games have been really good defensive efforts. And that's what this team has to be built on in order to compete at the highest level. So we're trending in the right direction, but it's about to get a lot tougher competition-wise.
You talked about not really having a rotation early in the season. I know we're not 20 games into it yet, but do you feel like you're forming one? I mean, obviously Bazemore is getting more minutes. Lee is a nightly guy now. Just where are you at rotation-wise?
Yeah, I mean, I think Baze has played so well. He's really solidified himself. And then, ironically, Marquise's injury really clarified Eric's role. And I think that was one of the big question marks in camp was, when Draymond was back, where were we going to play Eric? And he's really seized that role, that backup center along with Loon, kind of playing those three guys, playing James, Loon, and Eric. And it's a really good look. Eric is so good offensively and so good at attacking, and doing so as a five-man really suits him well. So I would say, these last few games, the rotation has settled in pretty well. But we'll see how it goes the next couple of weeks.
You mentioned the increased competition. You guys played some really good teams to start the season, clearly weren't ready for that. How much more ready do you feel for really, it's like a 7-game gauntlet ahead? Well,
yeah. I mean, like I said, I feel like conditioning-wise and practice-wise, this is what the beginning of the regular season normally feels like. And it makes sense, right? Because it's about a 4-week period under normal circumstances from your first practice to your first game. And it's probably been about 4 weeks since we started camp. So we weren't ready. We needed a couple of extra weeks, particularly with James and Draymond. And now we've got our legs underneath us, and I think we're much better prepared to play the best teams in the league. So we'll see if that's true.
We'll see it Wednesday night when the Warriors take on the Clippers, and these three guys right here, Bully and Darrell, are a big key to the success. We know about Steph Curry and Draymond Green, but Oubre Jr. starting to find it. Andrew Wiggins, he's been playing well ever since the Milwaukee game. And, of course, let's start with James Wiseman, a 19-year-old. Sky's the limit for this kid, 50% from the floor tonight. And he just gets better and better and better. I know a lot of fans were saying, well, where's Wiseman at? Playing more than fourth quarter. He's elevated himself. He doesn't need to be playing at garbage time anymore because he's that special, Darrell.
Yeah, he's